What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first podcast episode of Bluegrass Sports Podcast. We're thankful for everybody that joins in and watches our episodes. And today, we're going to talk about different things. But first off, I'm Drew. We also got DJ and Tyler here with me. And we're mainly going to be talking about all the sports and all the colleges in the state of Kentucky. So we'll have Kentucky, we'll have Louisville, we'll have the big ones. And then we're also going to have WKU, we're going to have EKU, and we're going to have Murray State as well. But for this episode, we're mainly just going to talk about Kentucky and Louisville. Now, in all sports we're going to talk about football, we're going to talk about basketball, and we're going to talk about baseball, along with other sports as long as it's in the national stage. But we're just going to talk about the main three that we follow. So the first sport that we're going to talk about today is basketball. We would talk about football, but it's obviously in the off season. So when it gets closer to the fall, we will talk about Jeff Brom and the Cardinals, and we'll talk about Will Stein and the Cats and all the other programs in the state of Kentucky.
We'll
but
also
first
talk
things
about recruits,
first.
too. We can talk about recruits as well.
Yep.
But that'll be
anytime we get a commitment, right, one of us will share it
Yeah.
on our social media pages. So we have an X, we have a TikTok, a YouTube, an Instagram. They should be, Tyler, what's the at for that?
All of those are BG Sports Podcast, at BG Sports Podcast.
And we have that on X and YouTube and TikTok and Instagram for the official podcast pages.
Yeah.
So make sure you go give us a follow and subscribe if you find us, and let's dive into it. So first things first, we're going to talk about the Louisville Cardinals basketball team. So they have been killing it recently, and they are 2-0 in the past week. So the first game that they played was against the NC State Wolfpack, and Tyler, give us some stats for that game.
So Michael Brown, 45 points, 9 rebounds. Amazing game. Outstanding game. And Conwell had 31 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists across the board. Perfect game. You can't say anything better. Seemed like both of them were hitting their shots from the outside with Michael Brown. What was he, 10 for 15 from three, I believe?
31 in the first half. 31 in the first half.
10 for 16 from three.
10 for 16.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an insane stat line.
He had 9 rebounds as well. So he was going crazy. So those were the main 2 starters that scored all the points. And then you also had Hadley and McNeely with 9 and 8 that also contributed. But really, Brown and Conwell, my Lord, that is how you light up the basketball court. Like, what do you do as a defender if somebody is just not missing and scoring that much? Oh, dude, I can't believe that. And I was looking at the final score, too, 118-77.
It's crazy.
Louisville just has a real dominant front court.
They do. Scoring 118 is very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Very, yeah.
Any team.
Yeah.
In the last few years, I've noticed, most teams would make it to 90, 100 points, but this year, for some reason, it's gotten lower. I don't know if you all have noticed that, but teams are scoring 60, 70 points max. And for Louisville to go out there and score 118, that's pretty good, especially against a conference rival.
They are talking about NC State being a tournament team also. So, that's real impressive for Louisville, which we don't know for sure how, NC State's actually going to be in March. But, it's almost March. So, few more weeks till March, almost conference play. I guess we'll see.
Wade is their head coach, and he's made back-to-back runs with McNeese. Actually, 2 years ago, they got bounced first round, but they've always made the tournament as like a 12 seed. Yeah. And now he is at NC State, first year here. And his team didn't really do so hot. They had Lubin with 20 points. That's pretty good. He went 7 for 10. And he had Holloman with 19 points. So they had Lubin and Holloman with 20 and 19, and then Copeland with 10. That's pretty good. But the rest of the team just did not contribute.
Well, also too,
Really,
when you're looking at the stats as well, you don't see much rebounding or getting physical onto the rim. Watching that
yeah.
game, they weren't physical. Didn't get in there and did what they needed to do. Obviously, they got big bodied. I mean, by a Louisville team that's not very big.
Mhm.
I mean, with just very aggressive, very fast paced team, and they take opportunities. They take the chances they get, and you put up 118 points.
That's very impressive, especially when March is coming up. That's very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an impressive win for the Cards. So a good win for them. And then later on in the week, which would be yesterday, February 14th, they played a non-conference game late in the year. They played Baylor University at Baylor and beat them 82-71. So let's talk about some of them stats.
DJ, how did you feel about that game?
Watching it at first, it felt a little rough. Obviously, not coming off. I mean, you're looking for something great after a game. You score 118.
So we see Michael Brown had 29 points. Hadley had 20 points. Conwell
Yes.
had 14.
Yes.
That's what we need from Louisville's front court right there. Michael Brown with 6 assists too. Conwell 4 assists. You need that from your guards. You do. That's how you're going to win games. I mean, also it helps whenever Michael Brown has 29 points, but you can carry on.
That kid is a game changer. I'll tell you what, when he is on the floor, it automatically makes Louisville a better team. Now, he did struggle a little bit against Duke, and he had some trolls that were going on him for having a bad game, but everybody has a bad game.
Yeah.
If you look at the NC State game and you look at the Baylor game, you can just tell this kid's unbelievable. 45 points, 29 points in the same week. I mean, that's telling you something right there. He's legit.
In the second half, so in the first half, they were tied 34 points even. And second half, Louisville outscored them 48-37. So that's where they dominated in the second half. So I would say, Louisville pulled through, and it was an overall solid game for them.
Yeah, it was a good win. Good week for the Cards.
Great
so
week.
Now,
Great week.
after all of that, they stand 7th in the ACC with a record of 19-6 overall, conference record 8-4. How do we feel about that as of right now on February 15th?
I mean, they're a playoff team.
Do we want to look at their remaining schedule before we hit on Kentucky?
So, yes. So,
Yeah.
right now, they play Tuesday this week. They play SMU at SMU.
We play Georgia Tech Saturday.
Yes.
February
Yes.
21st.
North Carolina after that. That's at.
They don't have Caleb Wilson though anymore.
You're right.
So that's a winnable game.
But then they go on the road to Clemson.
Yeah.
So 2 back-to-back difficult games right there.
Yes.
Syracuse at home and then traveling to Miami.
So that they have a little rocky schedule left ahead in the ACC.
Yeah, towards the end, it's.
But let's talk about this week right here that's coming up. Ty and DJ, what do you all think about the Tuesday night game against SMU at SMU?
I feel confident that Louisville can take that game with how they've been playing this past week. I think it's Louisville's game to win. I really do.
So SMU right now is behind Louisville in the ACC standings. They are 6-6 in conference, 17-8 overall, and at home they are 13-2 on the season. Most of the games that they've lost have been on the road, so it might help them a little that they're at home. But overall, I do think Louisville will go in and get that win. I'm confident in Pat Kelsey to go in there and get the win that they need to build their resume for March, and a win that they just need. I feel like Louisville is a better team than SMU anyway, so I think they'll go and get that win.
Looking at the standings in the ACC, it looks like Louisville needs this week. They have to take these 2 games this week, and then you're facing North Carolina. Like
Yeah.
to get a higher seeding in the ACC, what are they right now? 7th in the ACC, right behind North Carolina. So
They just have to take care of business this week. Is all I gotta
yeah,
say.
yeah.
They cannot drop one of these.
And
And we'll talk about the
SMU's
other games. Yeah, go
SMU's
ahead.
right behind them. At Louisville's 8-4, SMU 6-6.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, they'll still be in the lead, after Tuesday night. But obviously, that matters. That definitely matters. So
Yep. And just take care of business this week. So that'll be it for Louisville basketball. They have just a simple week of basketball. Just take care of business. You got games you got to win. You're supposed to win. Go in and take care of it. So now for Kentucky, they came off a loss in Gainesville against the Florida Gators, the defending champions. So Ty, give some stats for that game.
well, it was a pretty disappointing game for the Cats. I mean, one positive was Denzel Aberdeen. He had 19 points. Owe had 13, which is unfortunate. Usually he's a 20 points per game type player. Colin Chandler had 18, which is very positive. Malachi Marino with 11 points, 11 rebounds. Solid game from him. Down the stretch, Kentucky needed him to out-rebound a little more. He was just getting dominated on the glass. And Garrison also with 3 rebounds, 0 points. We just can't – Kentucky just can't have that type of game from him. They really can't. Marino was really the only center that played.
Mm-hmm. Don't even want to talk about Garrison that game.
Yeah.
He didn't look the greatest, honestly. But back to what you were saying about Moreno, man, him and Yelovich are doing a lot of work. And honestly, Yelovich, he didn't have the greatest game either. It was really Diabate. He had an okay game. He hit a lot of shots in the paint. But
Diabate, 9 points, 5
Yes.
rebounds, 2 assists.
What
I'd
he would
say,
do, he would take it to the rack every time.
only playing I'd say only, but 26 minutes compared to what he used to play. He used to play a lot more, which it is pretty sad seeing that Garrison and Yelovich had the same amount of minutes, 17 minutes. Yelovich had 7 points, 4 rebounds, and Garrison had 0 points and what did I say? 3 rebounds? Yeah, unacceptable. Yeah. It's your power forward and your center right there, combining for 7 rebounds.
What gives me hope for Kentucky going into March? Before this game, they won their last 8 of 9. And Owe, you could argue with him saying this was an off game for him. Their best player for Kentucky is Otega Owe. He had 13 points. He went 4 for 14 in field goals. And he was 0 for 3 in three-pointers and still ended up with 13 points.
Florida made it very
not
known
a bad outing. Yeah.
that they were going to force Aberdeen and Owe to their left the whole game. That was their game plan, and it worked to an extent. Aberdeen still scored a lot. He, some people say that he'd force shots, but really, if you're the only one scoring, sometimes that's what you have to do.
Right.
And then, let's not take away this Florida team's a good team. Now, Xavier Lee, 22 points. He was started off on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he finished from 3, but he
went 4 for 7 from 3.
Did he?
Range.
Okay, he started off 4 for 4. I do know that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Florida's big man. Kentucky couldn't compete. They couldn't compete.
I will say I'm going to make this take right now for everybody listening. The Florida Gators have the best bigs in college basketball. They do.
Yep.
Simple as that. They have a national champion, Alex Condon. Is that how you say his name? Condon. He's a dog. Against Kentucky, 14 and 11. That's pretty good. And then they were comparing number 9. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't want to get that wrong. Just respect out of him. But they were comparing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's right to compare him to Oscar Tshiebwe. Just a non-biased take, just because Tshiebwe was a National Player of the Year, and I don't think it was right for ESPN to compare those guys. But he had a double-double as well. Kentucky didn't really have anybody to stop him, so their bigs really just controlled the paint, and Xavier Lee was going insane from three-point range. So that is the reason why the Florida Gators won that game. But I feel okay that Kentucky plays them again at Rupp. I feel
So,
confident they will play. They'll play all right with them next time they see them.
so what does this mean? What does this game mean for Kentucky? So we see that Florida's really good team. Arguably top 10 for sure. Number one in the SEC.
First in the
You know,
SEC, correct?
Kentucky held their own. You see, what did Florida do their last few games? Let's see here. Let me try to pull up Florida's games really quick.
Let's see. So defeated Georgia,
Yes.
86-67.
Yes. And a blowout win.
Beat them by 20. Blew out Texas A&M as well.
Blowout Alabama.
Blew out Alabama.
Blowout South Carolina.
Blow out South Carolina.
Beat
Lost-
Auburn.
Lost
Lost to Auburn. Lost to Auburn.
Lost to
Oh,
Auburn.
wow. Wow. Yeah. Okay. That was the one that I was missing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was back in January. 3-4 weeks passed. Seems like they've started to click.
But
Maybe they needed that loss. That's what fired them up for these next games.
I mean,
anyways, moving on from Florida.
Yes. So the Kentucky schedule after that game, Kentucky was second in the SEC. Now after that game, they have dropped to sixth in the SEC with an 8-4 conference record. This week, Tuesday, they have the Georgia Bulldogs at Rupp Arena, and on Saturday they have Auburn at Auburn. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my take. I'm going to say my take. I think that Kentucky will beat Georgia at home because I think that's a win you got to have. I feel like Kentucky's the better team, but Saturday night at Auburn and Kentucky do not like one another, and that crowd's going to be rowdy. Kentucky's going to be on the road. I think they will drop that one. I think there's a good chance they drop that one. I think they go 1-1 this next week. So what do you all think about that?
I can see that happening. I feel like Kentucky can take Georgia at home at Rupp. Now, Auburn's going to be a tough team to beat. They really are, but, I mean, we've seen time and time again this year, you can't cap them out. Beating Tennessee, beating, Arkansas, teams like that, which, Vanderbilt, terrible game. We can also see what happens there. It's hard to tell with this Kentucky team. They can come out on fire. They can come out – well, usually they're coming out slow and then on fire in the second half. But
yeah, no kidding. There's so many games that they won. I don't know how they won, but they did.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
They're really just unpredictable. You don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Like in November when Kentucky and Louisville played, those two teams Louisville looked really good against Kentucky. And then they kind of started to get cold a little bit, and then Kentucky started to warm up. So now they're kind of just right here next to one another. And who knows what will happen in March. I think both teams will make March Madness. It's just a matter of how are they going to capitalize the end of the season, their conference tournaments, to get the best seed possible. And then when they get the result, how are they going to capitalize to get as far as possible in the tournament?
Yeah. DJ, how do you feel about Kentucky this upcoming week? I don't think you ever hit your point.
No, I definitely agree. I feel like Kentucky has to take this win at home. Definitely, especially, big SEC matchup coming in versus Georgia. Georgia hasn't known to been too hot lately. Obviously, loss against Florida recently. But how can you expect? We've already, talked about that. But then you see Auburn. I think Auburn is a tough team. I think Auburn is a tough team and a team that is going to be a challenge for Kentucky. Auburn, in most places, most teams, I think they're an underdog that comes in hot.
We do got to realize that Auburn's coming off of 4 losses right now. Now, I don't know. They may play before. Yeah, so they played Mississippi State before. Now, that could get a win or they could boost 5 in a row right there. And Georgia's coming off of 2 losses. So they're gonna want this win bad.
It would be something if Kentucky were able to pull off both of these games. But I'm going to take the safe answer saying they're going 1-1, just because of how unpredictable they are. I do think they will beat Georgia, though.
I would agree.
I could see it flipping too. I could see maybe them taking the loss to Georgia, and then
you never know.
Taking a win at Auburn, which would be very difficult. But we'll just have to see how that goes now.
You've seen what Kentucky did earlier in the season against Missouri. That was a game that they should have won, and they let Missouri come in. That was at the bottom of the conference standings and make Kentucky go 0-2 in SEC play in the game they should have won. So you never know what you're going to see out of this squad, but I think they'll go 1-1, like I said.
Yeah. But also, too, you know how it is to play on the road on an SEC court. I mean, anywhere you go. I mean, anything can happen.
The environment is unreal.
So,
yeah. I think that about does it for basketball. If anybody has any other takes they want to make.
That's what I was about to say.
All right, so that'll do it for basketball as we talk about Kentucky and Louisville. And like I said, in the future, we'll talk about the other colleges in the state. But for our first episode, we're going to focus on the big schools. So first things first, for baseball, we like to pay attention to college baseball. We like to look at all over the state. There's some really good ball teams in the state of Kentucky. So last year, for example, you got the University of Louisville making Omaha. You got Murray State making Omaha for the first time ever. That's really impressive. And then also you have WKU that was in the top 25. Kentucky had a competitive team, but I wouldn't say that they were better than those teams last year. And then EKU was also a competitive team. But there's just a lot of good talent in the state of Kentucky, and we're going to highlight that talent this season for you guys. So for the first game, we're going to talk about for the first series, we're going to talk about the Kentucky series against UNC Greensboro. It was a Kentucky sweep. They are ranked 18th in the country right now. So February 13th, the final score was 13-2 Cats. Tyler Bell going down for Kentucky is terrible news. He is a MLB prospect playing in college ball. Probably going to be a first-round, second-round draft pick. But they ended up replacing him with Luke Lawrence, who started second baseman the first game, but he moved to shortstop after Bell went down. And the main highlight I want to talk about is the pitching for Kentucky. So Jackson Jelkin, I hope I pronounced that right. He pitched 4 innings. He had 10 strikeouts and only allowed 2 hits. That is insane for 4 innings, 10 strikeouts. So for 4 innings, you're facing probably, I'm just going to throw this number out here, 12 batters in 4 innings. Is that correct? To strike out 10 of that approximately 12 batters, that's pretty good if you ask me. I feel like that is an arm that you have to watch for the rest of the season. What do you guys think about that?
I agree.
I know it was UNC Greensboro, but
still, I mean, pitching against anybody. I mean, baseball's baseball, So.
That's still talent, if you ask me. And then I want another pitcher that highlighted that game is Connor Madison. He pitched 3.2 innings, but he still had 7 strikeouts. So with Jelkin and Madison, that's 17 strikeouts combined out of their performance. That's really good. And he allowed 3 hits. So 17 strikeouts and 5 hits between 2 pitchers. That's a solid performance.
Any note on how many walks they had?
0.
0 apiece. Wow, impressive.
It's very impressive. I love to see that for the Cats. And the closer that was for the game, I'm not going to leave him out, is Tristan Hunter. He pitched 1.1 innings, so a little over 1 inning. He had 2 hits. He allowed 2 hits. He allowed 1 run. He had 1 earned run, and he had 3 strikeouts. So he didn't play amazing like the other 2 did, but he closed out the game. He did his job. He came in there. He threw it in the strike zone like the coach told him. He did his job. Very impressive for the Kentucky rotation. And then for the hitters, the main hitter with 3 hits is center fielder Jace Tharnish. He went 3 for 5. He scored 2 runs when doing that. And also you have Hudson Brown, the first baseman, that had 2 hits on 4 at-bats with 2 runs. And then you have multiple people throughout the lineup that went 1 for 3. And the people that had home runs, I know Kentucky had some home runs.
I'm trying to pull it up right now, Drew.
I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. Ty, cut this out, maybe. But Luke Lawrence, I'm pretty sure he had a grand slam.
Luke Lawrence did have a home run, and he had 7 RBIs. Or on the season, he has 7 RBIs. So
which game was this?
Could be correct about that.
It's the first game, February 13th, Greensboro. Yep.
Now, Luke Lawrence is the only one who's had a home run this year.
Okay, that's what I was looking at. I couldn't see it on my screen, but he went 1. It says he went 1 for 5 on my stat sheet, but he hit a grand slam.
He did.
So that's 4 runs you're bringing in. Another person I want to highlight is Owen Jenkins, the catcher. He is replacing Devin Burks, longtime starter at Kentucky, World Series catcher at Kentucky. He came in first game and went 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and scored once. I feel like that's a pretty good debut for a true freshman.
I agree. Anything for a true freshman is always great to see.
That is another name to look out for. Overall, February 13th, game 1 of the series, Kentucky versus UNC Greensboro. Great game by the Cats. This is a pretty solid team. We're going to continue to watch for them and report the stats that they show for us.
I think we're just going to have to see how it goes as competition gets harder.
Yeah. Obviously, UNC Greensboro is still D1, but Kentucky's in the SEC, and the SEC is by far probably, I'm going to say, probably the best conference in baseball. But, ACC and Big Ten, they're also great. So once they play their conference and then if they make it to regionals and super regionals, which I'm going to have a take that they will, along with Louisville, I'm sure they will make it as well. I think Louisville, the Cards, will make it. But right now, first game that we're talking about, great start for the Cats. Their pitching just led them through that victory. And then we're going to go into the second game that happened on Valentine's Day, February 14th, Kentucky at UNC Greensboro again. The final score.
That was a doubleheader. Game 1 of the doubleheader.
Yes, sorry, thank you. Game 1 of the doubleheader. First game was 11-3 Kentucky. Kentucky had 13 hits on 0 errors, while UNC Greensboro had 7 hits on 2 errors. So, starting with the pitching again, Ben Cleaver for the Cats, he got the win. He pitched 4 innings. He allowed 2 hits, and he had 7 strikeouts. Pretty solid performance. And then after he came in, or after he pitched, Skelding came in. He pitched a little over an inning. He allowed 3 hits and 2 runs with 2 earned runs and 2 walks and a strikeout. I wouldn't say that's his greatest performance, but he still went out there and threw it in the strike zone. That's all you can do when your team is scoring runs and you're just wanting to get the game over as a pitcher. Bowling came in after him, pitched a little over an inning. He allowed 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. So they almost had the same stat line, Skelding and Mullen. But Bounds came in and closed the game with he pitched 2 innings. He had 5 strikeouts and he had 1 walk. So that's a good job on him for closing out that game. Now,
Very good closing.
One of y'all want to talk about the hitting stats?
Let's see here. All right, we got Lawrence leading off. Had 2 hits, 3 at bats. Now this was in order, right? Hold on. Okay, and then Cloud with 1 at bat, 0 hits. Thornish, 4 at bats, 2 runs. Sorry. Schwartz, 4 at bats, 2 runs, 4 hits. Very solid game. Very good game. Let's see some more important ones. Brown had 4 at bats, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 RBI. Very solid. Let's see. Duffy, the DH, had 4 at bats, 2 runs, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Great performance. Great performance. Can't ask
That's
for more.
Probably the best hitting performance of the day for that game.
Yes. Hendel, 4 at bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. That's really the notable performances right there. And then Jenkins, Campbell each had 1 run. So
still a pretty solid team performance for the Cats, wouldn't you say?
Very overall. Yeah, overall, great performance.
13 hits as a team. And then, like I said, they had 14 strikeouts combined for pitching. Yep. So 20 strikeouts game 1 and then 14 the next game. That's pretty good for the pitching staff. If I was the pitching coach for the Cats, I would be really happy right now.
Very.
The hitting seemed great.
Yeah.
Overall in that game.
Now moving on to game 3. Game 2 of the doubleheader, game 3 of the series. Kentucky got the win again, 10-6. Kentucky had 10 hits on 0 errors, and UNC Greensboro had 7 hits on 0 errors. So this is more of a clean game. So starting on the mound for the Cats was Harris. He got the win for the game. He pitched 4 innings. So one thing I'm noticing about the starters, Kentucky likes to start them and then have them pitch 4 innings. They don't go over 4 innings. That's one thing I noticed about the Cats this series. Harris allowed 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, and had 5 strikeouts. That's pretty solid. You could do a little better, but I would say that's pretty solid. After him came in L. Harris. So there was N. Harris start. I don't know the first name. I'm sorry. N. Harris started, and then L. Harris came in for him. L. Harris did not. If one of y'all want to get the first name for him, I don't want to disrespect him in any way.
I'm gonna get it now.
Okay. be number 45?
Leighton Harris and
Leighton.
Nate Harris.
Okay. All right. So, well, you could cut all of that silence out. We'll just start it right here, right now.
Okay.
So, Nate Harris started, and he pitched 4 innings. He allowed 3 hits and 1 run, 1 earned run, and he had 5 strikeouts. Then Leighton Harris came in after him. He recorded 1 out. He didn't last a full inning. He allowed 2 hits, 1 earned run, and no strikeouts. So Mingione was quick to pull him. And then Bennett came in after him. He pitched over 2 innings. He allowed 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk with 3 strikeouts. Salcy came in, pitched an inning. He recorded 1 strikeout. And then Austin came in after him. He pitched 2 outs. He allowed a hit. He allowed 3 runs, and he had 2 walks. And then the person that closed it out was Adcock. He pitched 1 out, and he had 1 walk, and that was the stat line that he recorded. So overall, the pitching only had 9 strikeouts compared to the rest of the games that were played beforehand. But I would say during this game, I feel like the Cats were trying to see what they had in the bullpen because it was the start of the season and they threw a lot of good arms already. I think they were just pitching more pitchers to see just what they had to show for against this team. And a game that they knew they were probably going to win. So that was the pitching stats for the Kentucky baseball team for game 3. If one of y'all want to take away the hitting stats.
Lawrence had 6 at-bats with 1 hit. Darnish had 4 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit. Schwartz had 3 at-bats, 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 RBI. Brown had 3 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit. Cerny had 4 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 RBI. Duffy had 3 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 RBI. Hendel had 2 at-bats, 4 runs, 2 hits, 1 RBI. Any other notable performances? Campbell had 4 at-bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 RBIs.
So I think overall Duffy is the standout hitter. I'd say Lawrence grand slam really stood out to a lot of people. Campbell, the left fielder, going 2 for 4, that stands out. Overall, 10 hits as a team, took care of business on the road. I feel like Kentucky is a team to watch for throughout the season as Mingione is trying to continue the momentum from 2024, took them to the World Series. So, yeah, they're just a team to watch out for this season. They have a lot of tough games. So, this week, I believe the Cats have who do they have? They have Morehead State. That is a in-state team that they will play at Kentucky Proud Park at 4 o'clock on Tuesday. And then I believe Kentucky should win that game. Do you all agree? Do y'all think Kentucky should probably win that game against Morehead? I mean,
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. They should. And then after that, heading a little north to Evansville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know really how good Evansville is.
3-game series.
Yeah. So I think worst comes to worst, Kentucky drops 1 game that series. Just because it's D1 baseball, like you said, DJ. You never talent's everywhere. You never know what you're going to see on any given day. And I think the Cats will take away 2 games for sure, maybe 3. I think Kentucky fans would like 3 a lot, but you never know. So we will see. What do you guys think about the Evansville series?
I think it's a good chance. Obviously we're seeing that Kentucky's out there trying to get their pitchers going, get them out and, stretched and throwing, get them some game experience. And coming into a series like this, obviously Kentucky's looking great. Hitting, amazing. Pitching's fantastic as well. guys going in there throwing, great. I mean, 17 strikeouts between two guys in a game is fantastic. So I think they have a good chance of coming out here and sweeping Evansville.
It's a good test. Good test for Kentucky.
Agree. They're not a team you can put down, but they're also not a team that you would obviously consider any type of powerhouse. But they're baseball, and pitching wins games, defense wins games, hitting wins games, and you got to be perfect at two in order to win a ball game. So
It looks like Kentucky's going to roll with Jackson Jelkin, Ben Cleaver, and Nate Harris as their main three guys on the weekend series whenever they play different opponents. Based off their stats to open the season against UNC Greensboro, I think that's a pretty solid rotation between starters.
I agree.
So all we can do now is see what the Cats have in store for the rest of the season. I think they're going to be solid, though.
I agree. Do we want to move on to Louisville
Yep.
baseball?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So Louisville this Friday came due and faced down Michigan State on our home front in Jim Patterson Stadium. First game ended in a loss 4-3, coming in with Michigan State having 5 hits, Louisville with 8. Now, that's never a thing you want to see your team having more hits and still coming out with a loss. Wondering where that comes in is through strikeouts. Errors, none for either team, which was a good clean game between both sides. Now, Todd, can you give me some stats on the hitting here?
Okay, so Louisville's hitting. Do you want the player stats or do you want the team stats?
Can you give me some player stats, please?
Okay, so notable performances on game 1. Let's see this. Yeah, I'm on the right one. Okay. Moore had an RBI. Slanker had 2 RBIs. Those were, obviously 3 runs.
Had his 2, didn't he?
Who is it again?
Tag Davis had his 2 hits as well.
Yes, he had 2 hits. Moore had 1 hit. Elam had 1 hit. Slanker had 2 hits. Hott had 1 hit. Hissel, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really know how to say his name yet. Those are all the hits in the game. Overall, Louisville had 8 hits, 3 RBIs, and I believe that's it. Now, Michigan State had 5 hits and 4 RBIs. So, with the score being 4-3, Michigan State taking that win away.
So, Drew, playing baseball growing up, obviously, Louisville losing 4-3 with more hits in a game. How does that affect a ball game?
To be honest, I didn't watch this series, but just looking at the box score, viewers, you two can correct me if I'm wrong, but normally if there's no errors on either team and you have more hits than the other team and you still lose by 1, it just genuinely falls down to execution and capitalization when you have runners on base. Simple as that.
I agree.
When you have scores or you have runners in scoring position, you got to hit them in. You got to move them by bunting the ball. When they're at second or third base, you got to hit them in with a ground ball, hit to the outfield. Any way you get that run in, I mean, that's baseball for you. You got to get the runs. That's how you win games. If you have more hits and less runs, it's all about execution.
Agreed. Now, let's go in and look at pitching stats for the Louisville Cardinals. Now, starting on the mound, Friday we had Ethan Urbel. You may correct me on pronounce the last name.
One second.
Ethan Urbel. Well, he had 4 innings pitched on the mound, allowing 2 hits, 1 run.
Is it
No
Herbally?
runs. Say that again.
Is it Herbally?
Herbally? That
I don't. I just want to get this right.
I do too. Well, only allowing 1 walk as well. We interchanged a few pitchers throughout the game. Jake Brown pitching 1.2 innings, allowing 1 hit, 1 run with an error. Case and Murphy, 2 innings pitched, allowing 2 hits, 2 runs, and 2 errors with 1 walk. Jake, Louisville native.
DJ, I just want to say his name is Eberly.
Eberly. Okay. Thank you. Jake Swatcher having 1 inning pitched, offering up no hits, no runs, no errors, and no walks. Louisville coming in this game, obviously, I think fantastic. 2 walks. Obviously, you want none. Come out of a 9-inning game where you have 3 outs per inning. 2 walks is more than enough. So now, let's see. Michigan State pitching. Michigan State had Donovan Aiden on the mound. He pitched 5 innings. He came in throwing a hot hand versus Louisville. He only allowed 3 hits with 1 run. Michigan State's defense, man, they're fielders, real deal. Middle infielders, great hands on those guys. Double plays, situational ball, they know what they're doing. Strategy for Michigan State is top tier, and I think they're a great baseball team. Not being ranked coming into this game, I think is a big disrespect to a team like Michigan State. Big powerhouse, but obviously coming up, Louisville not, we could see they're number 8 going to game 2 this Saturday. Louisville lost 4-13 in a gruesome loss in Jim Patterson. Now, Tyler, can you give me some hitting stats for Louisville?
Yes. 1 second.
Can you actually give me some team stats?
Team stats. Yeah. So here we go. So obviously we had a 13-4 game. Michigan State had 14 hits. Louisville had 13 hits. So very close there. Michigan State led with 3 doubles over Louisville 0. Michigan State had 3 home runs. Louisville had 1. RBIs. Michigan State had 13. Louisville had 4. Michigan State had 4 walks, with Louisville having 5. Strikeouts. Michigan State had 4 strikeouts, and Louisville had 5 strikeouts.
Okay. So, going in, you're looking. First inning, it was tied 2-2 ball game. Game started off great between both teams. Now thinking 2-2. Pitchers did start well. Now, we didn't see any difference in change of score until the top of the 4th inning where Michigan State came in and dropped 6 whole points. Moving on to Louisville's hitting stats. Lucas Moore coming up 2 for 5 with a run. Ben Slanker, again, coming in 3 for 3. He's been hot the last 2 games. Went 2 for 4 last game. He had a home run this game as well. Just showing off good hitting. Bayram Hawk, 4 for 5. He hit well this game as well, but you're seeing, together right there, that was 7 hits. And where's the runs? So,
it's all about execution.
Tyler, can you give me some pitching stats started on the mound for us?
Yeah, so Jake Bean pitched 3.2 innings, had 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs.
Man, looking at that too, giving up 7 runs in 3, or giving up 7 hits in 3 innings is crazy.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say too. Yeah, 7 hits in 3 innings, 5 runs in those 3 innings, and then we had. I really don't want to get this guy's name wrong. I don't even want to say it.
TJ.
All right. TJ had 1 inning pitched. Had 4 hits given up and 6 runs given up. That's where Louisville really went wrong. First 4 innings, 4.5 innings, kind of, had 11 runs given up. That's going to kill you. You're not going to win a game like that. And then from there, Gregor came in, gave up a run. Olsen held his own for an inning. Everett had 1 run given up, and then Stale pitched the last inning, held his own, but unfortunately, Louisville just couldn't do anything about that. It's whenever you're giving up 13 runs, you're gonna lose, more than likely.
Exactly.
Unless the offense is just really, really good that day.
Really good, yeah. Next game, last game in their 3-game series, Louisville finally pulls off the W, 9-1. Now we'll move on to some hitting for the Louisville Cardinals. Alex Alicia, 3 for 4 with 2 runs. Lucas Moore, 3 for 4 with 1 run. Cade Elam with 2 for 4. Griffin Crane got his 1 at bat in there. Cat 1 for 1 with a hit. Pitching. Can somebody help me on pronouncing it?
We have Wyatt that picked 6. Wyatt pitched 6 innings. I don't know, that was so hard for me to say. With 2 hits given up. Shannon had 1 inning pitch, no runs given up. Overall solid performance. Do we know what happened to Vorster with only pitching 0.1 of an inning? I didn't get to watch this. I wasn't able to watch this game, unfortunately. England, 1.2 innings pitched, 1 hit given up. So overall, solid, great performance from Louisville from the pitching. Great, with only 1 earned run given up.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a better pitching show from what we've seen from them past 2 games.
1,000%. 1,000%.
And also, too, we got to think as well, Louisville is missing their number 1 outfielder, Zion Rose. He's still out for injury. When he comes back, I do think he will be, again, the best outfielder for Louisville. Coming into Louisville is not a team to push over. We got the number 4 ranked first baseman in the country, Tag Davis. Lucas Moore, top 15 outfielder in the country. Having Zion Rose gone does admit a huge problem for Louisville. But having those guys, we're not a pushover team. We're a team that can go in there and get stuff done. Also having other pitchers and other people in other positions ranked nationally as well shows that Louisville's a great team. We're number 8. Omaha last year. You see how you see how Louisville has made this type of run, and last year as well. I will say Louisville, and last year actually, and the year before that, Louisville has lost both of their first game series. Xavier in Arizona. So going back to those times, I'm not scared for Louisville's team, and I think Louisville's going to do great. I really do. I really think a lot of people doubt. And just because you lose 2 games don't mean that. Baseball.
Long season ahead, man. Long season. That goes for all teams. Any team that starts high and they have a whole season ahead, don't get super high on these wins, because you also got a lot of opponents on the road and they can take advantage of you. And you can't go when you start out with 2 losses like Louisville, you can't get super down on yourselves, because you got a whole season ahead. Louisville made Omaha last year. They're a good program. They're known nationally. I think they're going to be okay. That would be my prediction. I think they're just fine. They just had a little rough start. That's all.
I agree.
Okay, well, that'll be it for us talking today. We talked about Kentucky and Louisville basketball and baseball. Like I said, we're going to cover other colleges in the future. We just want to start it out with these two. We thank you all for watching our podcast, and we look forward to posting more content in the future. And like I said, follow us on X, Instagram, YouTube. Am I missing one?
Instagram.
Instagram, X,
YouTube, TikTok.
and TikTok. Yes. So what is the @ for that, Ty?
BG Sports Podcast.
That's
BG
correct.
Sports Podcast.
So if you like what you see and you want to follow along more, please follow and subscribe to BGS Sports Podcast. And that'll do it for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you all. See you all next time.